everybody. Joe Joseph here for thedailysheeple.com, and this is your news shot. Let's go to the Sacramento Bee, where in California, there is something crazy going on, and it has to do with marijuana, specifically these grow houses. Sacramento Bee saying that raids on marijuana grow houses are often finding Chinese farmers inside. Now, this is interesting considering it's almost like we've gone full circle, almost back to the 1860s, 1870s, when you had the railroad being built here in the United States. And on the West Coast, you had a huge Chinese slave labor presence over here. As a matter of fact, the railroad itself, the Transcontinental Railroad, would not have gone and be built as fast as it was without Chinese labor, you know? And then on the East Coast, a lot of it was the Irish and the Italians and they met in the middle, or actually out west, but still, I mean, an amazing story of how the railroad was built. And I got to tell you, the amazing thing is today we're seeing things repeat itself. Only now it's marijuana grow houses. Listen to this. It's hardly unusual for police in the Sacramento region to find an illegal marijuana grow house in an otherwise quiet suburb. But in recent police raids, the occupants of these grow houses have turned out to be Chinese nationals, raising questions about who is recruiting them and financing their operations. Now, recently, police raids in Yuba, Yolo, Placer, and Sacramento counties have resulted in multiple arrests of people with Chinese passports, some of them speaking no English at all, and apparently are providing little help to investigators. And one recent indictment obtained by the website McClatchy asserts that money from a southern China bank account was transferred to California to pay for down payments on homes that later became grow houses, suggesting that at least some in China are investing in this illicit U.S. marijuana market. Now, interestingly enough, you used to have the same thing happen again when they were building the railroad. These people would come over to the United States and they would be slave labor. They would send their money back, almost like Mexican illegal immigrants do today, send the money back to their families in Mexico and keep very little to themselves, often huddling up in houses, 8 to a room, sometimes sleeping in closets. But they do that. They send it back. Well, same thing during that time. The Chinese would come over and they would send the money back, but oftentimes it would go to a regional governor or warlord, and then they would get the money. Maybe some would go to the family. And we're seeing the same thing again today, where you have oligarchs over in China and or the Chinese government themselves that are going and funding these efforts here in the United States and making money of it and using slave labor to make it happen. So it is an unbelievable story. It says here, Colorado's another state where police have arrested Chinese nationals in pothouse busts, including in far-flung locations such as Garfield County in Colorado's northwest corner. Last year, Garfield Sheriff Lou Valerio and his deputies descended on an illegal marijuana farm, arresting 14 suspects. But to the sheriff's surprise, all 14 were Chinese nationals. Very interesting. He says, we've had nationals from all over the country to this part of Colorado. He said, the grow houses are popping up in every neighborhood. Chinese operators, in particular, seem to be expanding their reach from mainland China. So mainland Chinese are buying houses where marijuana is legal, and they're making illegal grow houses over here to cut out the, and kind of get a handhold on some of this business, and then they ship the money back to China. It's unbelievable. So this is crazy. Again, we're seeing a repeat in history. Remember, the Chinese were famous for bringing their opium dens over to the United States. Now they've just changed tact. Now they're just using marijuana. Hey, you know what? It's business now. Interestingly enough, what would happen if we just legalized it? Would then would there be an incentive then for Chinese nationals to come over and have these grow houses? These are things that we need to consider. Why do we have prohibition still when we know it doesn't work, and when it actually encourages this type of behavior, And I got to tell you, the Chinese have a long history of being kingpins of drugs and drug cartels almost. It's very similar. I think over there they call them triads, but down south, in Mexico, it's a cartel. Down in Central America, it's a cartel. Who cares what you call it? Hey, it's a hurricane in the Atlantic, but it's a typhoon over in Japan. It doesn't matter what the storm is. Fact is, pretty dangerous, And the thing is this again, we're seeing history just repeat itself. And hey, wherever there's an opportunity to make money, why the hell not? That's what I'm saying. So more power to you, China. Although I don't really encourage, using Chinese nationals as slave labor, I do like the idea of branching out and getting these grow houses up and doing the right thing for America. I'm Joe Joseph. This was thedailysheeple.com's News Shot. Feel free to comment below and visit our website at thedailysheeple.com. Have a great day, everybody.